A good side quest gives you a break from the main game, doing something fun, interesting, or karaoke. I'm so lost without you. Beautiful. Some side quests, however, decided that what players really wanted was optional activities that were so tedious or time-consuming that we took the optional part seriously and opted to never finish them, so screw you, game. Here are 8 side quests that we never finished, and if you did, then congratulations! You wasted precious hours of the only life you'll ever have. No, only kidding. Good job.
Iflam, brother, father, you now know we're not alone.
And you've discovered the importance of higher beings, celebrities, like me, as people to worship and guide you to truth. Here. This is your medal for your achievements so far.
Despite being over 4 years old, Grand Theft Auto 5 is still a permanent fixture in the top 10 game charts. A feat even more impressive when you remember that this is the game that includes the side mission called Exercising the Truth. Possibly included as some sort of psychological experiment to see just how much people are willing to put up with in a GTA mission, Exercising the Truth is a side quest you undertake for the definitely real and definitely not made up religion, the Epsilon program.
Hello, Zondar. Kiflam.
Kiflam. Marnie. Wait, I thought my name was Zolak.
That's because everything you have ever thought is wrong, Zondar.
By this point in the Epsilon program questline, you've already found an alien boot, acquired the name Zondar, and worn their official robes for 10 consecutive days, so nothing they send your way should faze you. And yet when they ask you to run 5 miles through the desert for ill-defined reasons, you'll find your faith severely tested.
But first, you must wear your medal and your attire and run 5 miles through the desert. Kiflam.
Yes, they're asking you to run for 5 miles through the cougar-infested Sonora Desert, in a dicey slog that will take you 20 minutes of epically dull button tapping to complete. And you have to wear that dumb outfit while doing it, so you look stupid. I mean, even more stupid than you would look normally, running a fictional 5 miles in a video game.
Kiflam. 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 Kiflam.
It's not essential to finish this mission to complete Grand Theft Auto 5, but it is essential to finish this mission if you want to have the opportunity to later give $50,000 of your own money to the Epsilon program. So best get running, people.
Do you have the cash?
Yes, I do.
How about I just don't do the side mission? What do you say to that, Michael?
Kiflam.
Ugh, you always say that.
It's a wonder Hyrule ever gets saved with the amount of dicking around that the various links do instead of focusing on the task at hand. For our money though, the biggest waste of time in a Zelda game is the figurine collection side quest from The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, in which you need to collect 134 figurines of different characters from the game in the most annoying and time-consuming way imaginable. To start with, you need to acquire the deluxe Pictobox camera and take a picture of the subject you want made into a figurine to Karlov the figurine carver. The subject has to be photographed the exact right way, as Karlov is a jerk, and won't accept pictures that are off by even the slightest degree. Plus your camera can only hold 3 photographs at a time, so you'd better hope you get it right. You then have to wait an entire day while he makes the carving, and he can only work on 1 figurine at a time. Then it's a simple case of repeating this process 133 times. And you too can say you completed the gallery in Wind Waker and got absolutely nothing. Don't know what I was expecting. Some of these issues were addressed in the Wind Waker HD, but that came out 11 years after the original Wind Waker, so if you were trying to do this at the time, your options were to do it the way the game wanted you to, or to wait 11 years. Which, honestly, would have taken you about the same amount of time.
What are you doing out here, Petruccio? You should be in bed.
I want those feathers.
What for?
It's a secret.
If I get them for you, will you go back inside?
Yes, I promise.
Ezio Auditore's younger brother Petruccio is a sickly child who dies almost immediately in Assassin's Creed 2. Before he goes though, he leaves you with his terrible legacy, collecting feathers for no discernible reason.
You still haven't told me why you want these.
I will. In time.
Cool, I'll look forward to that. When Petruccio dies, you might think you're off the hook, but that's where you're wrong, kiddo, because Ezio's mum Maria has now picked up the mantle of wanting you to fill a box in her bedroom with loose bird bits.
I still can't get her to talk. She spends all day and night in front of those feathers Petruccio used to collect.
How many feathers seems like a reasonable request, would you say? 10?
20 at a push? Try 100 scattered across the entire game in hard-to-reach dangerous spots where at any point you could slip off a ledge and get that dead Auditore sun tally up to a nice round 100%. Maria, what are you doing that needs 100 feathers? Is it building a new sun out of feathers? Because if it's that, that's weird. Still, it's such a time-consuming, arduous task, the reward must be something pretty awesome, right? Well, that depends on how awesome you think the Auditore cape is. A cape that is visually almost identical to all your other capes, and that has the added benefit of making you notorious wherever you go, causing most guards to attack you on sight.
Hey, who's that over there?
Thanks a lot, Petruccio and Maria. Aren't there any sensible Auditores?
Maybe you should focus on more important things.
Thank you, Mario. Jeez.
You what? You want to be a combatant? Look at you! My granny could beat you and she's dead!
Quick, what was the best part of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion? I mean, obviously the answer is the Dark Brotherhood party quest, but if you disagree and answered the combat, then you're probably the only person in the world who enjoyed the arena side missions in Oblivion. The arena is a gladiatorial coliseum in the Imperial City where you can win money, respect, and unsolicited titles such as Myrmidon and Pit Dog.
You ain't so bad after all, Pit Dog.
I might just stick with Mike, if it's all the same to you guys. There are 8 ranks in total, and to finish the questline you have to finish all 8 ranks and defeat the Grand Champion, meaning you'll need to do 25 fights in a game where combat is empirically the worst thing about it. That's 24 fights and several hours of flailing in your opponent's direction with swords until they fall over before you're allowed to take on the Grand Champion. At least they let you pick your own nickname for that one.
Sir Slaughter, huh? I like it.
Knighted for services to slaughtering, you presume. If we had carried on down this questline instead of abandoning it at the first opportunity to go steal wheels of cheese from people, we'd have found out that it ties in with an actual interesting side mission, in which you can look into the champion's parentage and find out that he's half vampire, a fact that leaves him so distraught that he won't attack you in your final fight, leaving himself completely defenseless.
In the arena, I can end my misery.
Of course, in that situation, being a noble warrior, I imagine we'd never take advantage of an opponent in this way, and instead we'd choose to... Good people! Just kidding.
Systems online.
Mass Effect 2 has many fine DLC packs available for those who wanted to extend their time with the game. But while some gave you new weapons and armor, and others gave you new squad mates and story missions, the Firewalker DLC pack gave you a stress headache and the desire to stop playing Mass Effect 2. In these 5 missions, you take control of the M44 Hammerhead, a vehicle named after a shark, because that went so well with the Mako, didn't it, Mass Effect? Reasoning that the only thing people loved more than the Mako in the Mass Effect series was the planetary scanning, BioWare combined the two to create a series of missions in which you hover around scanning things, because it's important for all great art to contain one deliberate mistake so that it doesn't anger God. I mean, I've got to assume that's what's going on here, because these Firewalker missions are the pits.
Please keep limbs inside vehicle at all times during operation.
Sometimes you'll hover around and scan things and nothing will happen. Sometimes you'll hover around and scan things while the hammerhead slowly freezes, slowing you down. Other times you'll hover around and scan things while getting attacked by Geth. This is made particularly fun by the fact that the hammerhead is not very maneuverable, its weapons are hard to aim, and its armor is apparently made out of breadsticks, given how many hits you can take before it explodes and you have to restart the mission again from the beginning. Oh, it's saying something when you'll abandon this side mission to go and do the story mission where your beloved crew gets blown up and carried off by space bees, but honestly, it's better this way, guys.
Of course you found that one easy. You were supposed to.
After the Joker, Poison Ivy, Bane, Mr. Freeze, Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, King Tut, the Eraser, Kite Man, and Condiment King, the Riddler is Batman's most feared enemy, thanks to, I don't know, his diabolical intellect, I guess? I mean, it's got to be something, because otherwise he's just a guy dressed like he works at a magic shop who leaves novelty desk lamps lying around in air vents.
That was one of the easy ones.
These Riddler trophies, as he calls them, are meant to prove his intellectual superiority over Batman, but at best, prove that he has so little going on in his life that he has the time to place these things all over the city, and at worst, actually lead Batman to his location and get him arrested.
No! Tell me, how did you work out where I was? Do you hear me? I, Edward Nigma,
This hobby of the Riddler's reached its nadir in Batman Arkham City, in which there were 440 Riddler trophies scattered around the map. This must have taken the Riddler weeks of effort and tens of thousands of dollars to achieve, and you'll have to spend countless hours of time that could be better spent fighting actual villainy on getting them if you want to 100% complete the game. I would argue it's a much better revenge on the Riddler for you to just completely ignore his stupid time-consuming side quest and just go off and do cool Batman stuff instead.
So, 5 riddles left. No doubt you left them because they were too hard.
That said, collecting them all does allow you to punch the Riddler in the face, and by that point, you are definitely going to want to. That's for making me collect hundreds of Riddler trophies, you dick. What am I supposed to do with all of these? eBay?
Shards in Dragon Age Inquisition are magical pieces of... You know what? I don't actually remember. They're magical pieces. Aeons ago, these magical shards were scattered far and wide across the Orlesian Empire, sprinkled there by, we assume, an angry warlock who hates how much free time you have. There are 114 of them. Guess what you need to do to complete the side quest named Shard Collector? With these magical pieces of gameplay filler, you can unlock a series of chambers in the magical temple in the Forbidden Oasis, and fight a boss for a handful of loot. So there's your motivation. Well, fine, you think. I'll just go ahead and Google a map of each large open world area and ride my horse to each of the 114 shard locations. It's not like I have anything important on, like closing the giant green sky hole that's going to destroy the world. Oh, wait! Only it wouldn't even have been as simple as that, my friend, because to collect a shard, you first have to climb a hill to find an ocularum, which is a skull, with a crystal in its eye, sure, and then you have to look through the crystal to spot where the shard is. Can't I just collect the skulls instead? There's not as many of them, and they'll look way cooler on my mantelpiece.
In Final Fantasy VIII, Triple Triad is the collectible card game all the kids are playing. It's the fidget spinner of its day. And much like fidget spinners, you'll find people all over the place who want to play it with you, and you'll want to collect the entire set. I don't understand how fidget spinners work. Do you battle them? Never mind. The side quest in Final Fantasy VIII that got our goat was called Queen of Cards, and to complete it you had to play cards with the so-called Queen to obtain 5 unique and special cards. The catch was, to get each unique card, you had to lose a different unique card to her. The other catch was, losing that card to her wouldn't actually get you the card you were after, it would just inspire her artist father to design it, because that's a thing. The other catch was, her dad would give his newly minted card to a random chump who you had to track down and beat at cards to win it off of. The other catch was that the Queen would run off to a random new location every time. What the actual hell, Your Majesty? And all this so you could fill some gaps in your CCG deck with, among other things, a collectible card of your friend who dresses like a cowboy. Is he okay with this, Your Majesty?
Those were some of the most tedious and time-consuming side quests in video games that we are definitely never going to finish because we've got better things to do with our time. Things like clicking on one of these 2 videos. Up here is a video from us that you should click on. It's definitely a good use of your time. Down here is one from Outside Extra, arguably even better a use of your time. And you can subscribe to us by clicking on the subscribe orb here. That's a side quest that we can definitely get behind.